There are some of you here, when you talk, more people hear you than the ordinary person. It's an ability. Don't think it's an ability. What somebody else say and 10 people listens to, when you say it, 100 people hear. You are a trumpeter. If we will take kingdom, such men will arise. And this is one of the powers of the apostles of Jesus Christ. And you see it replete in scripture. Imagine John the Baptist. The Bible said in Matthew 3:5, when he spoke, the whole of Jerusalem and Judea went to him. What was he saying? Go and read about Jonah. In Jonah chapter 4 or chapter 3 from verse 1 to 4. When Jonah spoke, the whole of Nineveh came down. Even the king tore his clothes and fasted. What was he saying? There was a volume in his voice. God has put something there. When God raised the apostles, that was the same thing he gave them. In Acts chapter 2 verse 37, the Bible says when Peter spoke, the people were caught in their heart. And they said, men and brethren, what shall we do to be saved? 3,000 was saved. Verse 41. Acts 4 verse 4, they spoke again. 5,000 was saved. A point came, they said, no, we have to send men to cities. And Philip went to Samaria. Philip too spoke, the whole city shut down. Paul went to another city. Acts 13:44, the whole city came to hear him. They are trumpeters. It's not all of us that will talk. Some of us will be praying, but there are some that God gives unique ability to talk. We must give them platforms to speak. Because when they talk, territories are taken. They are called trumpeters in the kingdom. So while we have gifted men, we also have specific people who have the vocals. Oh, when they share something that is common, you will hear it in an uncommon manner. And you are wondering, what is this? It's a trumpeter. And then you have warriors. This is where the real battle begins. Some men are shaped to fight. In fact, they come alive in battle. The Bible spoke of some of these valiant warriors. When God wanted to take the Midianites down, he went and looked for Gideon. What was the salutation? Thou mighty man of valor. And the guy looked at himself. Me, mighty man, I'm threshing floor in wine press because I'm a coward. They say you are not a coward. You were not told who you are. Circumstances define you to yourself. But we know you from Zion. You are a warrior. When God told him to raise an army, he carried 32,000. They said that's weight. At your level of rank, you don't need number. He reduced it to 300. And with 300 men, he shut down a city because he was a warrior. There's a DNA. There's a DNA. That was what David too carried. He didn't know. He was in the wilderness. A bear came, he slew it. A lion came, he slew it. He thought he was keeping sheep. Meanwhile, God was raising the captain of the Lord's host. It was in 1 Samuel 17 when Goliath stood. That was when his horn rose. Even David discovered himself there. Saul came, gave him garment. He said, no, this thing is not about garment. The Lord teaches my hands to fight, my fingers to war. And when he stood before Goliath, he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that defiled the armies of God? He said, today I will cut off your head. The birds of the field will eat you. And everybody were afraid. Because when Goliath cried, they ran to hide. But the Bible said, when Goliath cursed David, because even Goliath was not fighting with his stature. He was fighting with his God. He cursed David with his God. And the Bible said David charged at him. There was something in the young man that refused him to be intimidated by the height of Goliath. And with the first sling, he brought him down. The moment Goliath fell, he ran, took his sword, cut off his head. When he lifted it, all of the people ran away. Meanwhile, you need to know that there were 4 other giants. But they too ran, because this one is a giant slayer. Because Goliath had other giants. There are 5 of them. The other 4 ran away because they have seen a man who is not intimidated by height. But what was it that God gave him? It was a training in his priesthood. The hands that fight, the fingers that war. See, we have warriors among us who have not discovered who they are. Do you think you go to the place of prayer, you stand for 10 hours? You don't know that resilience is a weapon. How many people can stand for 10 hours? Some of you are worshiping and you are crying. And you are there worshiping like that for 4 hours. And the tears don't stop. Do you think it's normal? It's a weapon. It's a weapon. You are producing incense in the spirit. Because you are a warrior. Oh, when the Bible spoke about the warriors of David, that was one of the most beautiful scripture I read. It said Adoni the Ezrahite. is one of the most three honored princes. He said there was a time he took a sword and he fought a whole garrison. A whole battalion ran away from one man. He said that Eleazar, the son of Dodo, there was a time he held a spear and he slew 800 men. He fought until his hands became cleaved. The guy married his weapon, and him and his weapon became one. When they were fighting, they were like invincible forces from heaven, because that was their designation. They have been made warriors. Did you not read when David spoke about Saul? It says Saul and Jonathan were swifter than eagles. The men fought. They were more flexible than eagles, and such men have not diminished. Even among us, they are warriors. Some of you are here. There is a power on you to cause sickness. No matter how long that sickness have lasted, there's a faith you have to confront sickness. Some of you are here. There's a power in you to conquer money. So it doesn't matter. They may say money is not there. They may say it's difficult. When you show up, you know what to do for money to come out, because for you, money is a weapon. Some of you are here. You have power to confront kings. No matter the system they build, when you show up, somehow you get connected, and the kings must pay attention when you talk. It's a weapon, because God will position all of us in strategic quarters so that we can advance his kingdom. But we need to wake up to the realization that we are warriors, so that any dimension God gives to us, we will begin to service it. If I'm a seer, I must keep my eyes open. If I'm somebody that confront kings, I must stay in the palace. If I'm somebody that has stamina on the altar, then my feet must become like hinds feet, so that I can walk in my high places, because I am a warrior. The church will not have strategic advantage to take territories except as our warriors emerge. What is the